All right, let's talk about the idea of a perfectly balanced life. Usually, when we talk about work life balance, we think of those perfectly balanced rocks on the beach. But balance can also have many different looks. Walking a tightrope. So, this is more the balance of mom life. A teeter totter, or scales. All of these things require two sides to be in perfect equilibrium. Balance. At no point can one side tip further than the other. Everything must be equal. So, if we are saying that work and life need to always be equal, because this is balance, it is impossible to do. So we're going to try and do this balance thing, right? We're going to balance work and life. So let's throw in school. Where does that even fit? Does it fall under work or does it fall under life? I've never seen a three-sided scale, so we should probably just add it to the life bucket, because if we put it into the work bucket, we'll tip too far to that side. So we've got work on one side, we got school in the life bucket. If I work 6 hours a day, then I need to do life for 6 hours. We added school, so that is at least 4 hours on the life side. So now homeschool is not work at all, but life, even though it really feels more like work most of the time. And which side do dishes fall on? I don't get paid to do them, but it is definitely work. Or then there's my favorite idea of balance. I saw it in a meme, so you know it is totally serious. It went like this. Some days we complete all our lessons, read amazing literature, and work at service projects together. Other days we marathon educational shows, eat popcorn for dinner, and decide couch jumping counts as PE. It is called balance. That, my friends, I think is a more accurate picture of what balance looks like for the work from home and homeschooling mom. So really, this list can go on and on of, okay, we spend 6 hours at work and we have to do 6 hours at life. And then where do all these things fit? How do we categorize all of these different things? So I have to ask this. Does this sound like balance to you? You spend 6 hours at work, then 6 hours at life. Let's take a step back for a moment and ask the hard question. Is this even possible? If you are like me, then the answer is no. It's not possible at all. This is nuts. This is totally nuts. So at this point, you're either completely discouraged or you're hopeful. Yes, everything that was said should make you hopeful because you're realizing that you haven't done anything wrong. You're not a failure at finding balance because you can't fail at something that doesn't exist. Let's say that one again because that one's just so good. You can't fail at something that doesn't exist. So is there another way to get the promise that balance offers? Yes, there is another way. And it's a journey, not a destination. So I am totally a project-oriented person, like working with a specific deadline in mind, accomplishing the goal, and then moving to the next thing is how I like to work. Honestly, it's just how my brain is wired. So even with life, I break things into projects that are meant to be accomplished, and then we move on to the next thing. And work-life balance is no exception. I want to figure it out, accomplish it, and then move on to the next thing. Anyone else with me on that? So it could be because I'm in my 40s now and I have more years to look back and reflect on. Isn't getting older grand? But I've come to realize that most of life is about the journey. It's not a destination. And I know it sounds so cliche, and I'm not a fan of all the cliches. I'm really not. But it is true. Finding balance is about discovering it in the season you are living. So balance when I have an infant that needs to nurse and doesn't sleep looks a lot different than balance with a toddler that is getting into everything. Like, seriously, if I could just get 5 minutes where she doesn't move or steals my pens, like, we'll be good. Just 5 minutes. That would be balance. So, balance on a busy day full of activities looks a lot different than on days when nothing is planned, or days when projects are coming from clients at a rapid pace. Work-life balance is finding calm in the midst of your busyness. Yes, sometimes we need to make it happen, and sometimes it just does. It is not feeling either side equally. It is living and enjoying your life now, or struggling through the day because, let's face it, stuff happens and sometimes it isn't fun. It isn't fun being pooped on and trying to teach your kid chemistry, or doing both at the same time. Let's just accept that we will have bad days, and it has nothing to do with being balanced or not. Okay, I hope you're feeling hopeful right now. I really do. We all fail at keeping all the balls in the air. Don't judge your accomplishments through the lens of your failures. You accomplish a lot in a day, even if you didn't check everything off your to-do list. You still have accomplished a lot. So don't diminish your accomplishments because you failed to complete everything, or you failed to be balanced that day. All right, I got to talk about rebel mom mode, because when I was talking to my husband about this idea of balance, I do like to talk through my ideas with him, especially if I'm in rebel mom mode. So rebel mom mode is throwing out the accepted idea of balance and trying to figure out another way to do this. And we need some coffee. My husband said we shouldn't even use the term balance because it's such a bad analogy. We just need to throw it out, the whole idea. So I do agree with him that it is a bad analogy. I'm still going to use the term because we all know what we want when we say balance. But for this Rebel Mom post, we know that when we say balance, we aren't talking about this perfect place of equilibrium. We are talking about a journey, and it is finding those moments of serenity and better relationships in the midst of our crazy. And I think most moms can embrace this idea. Okay.